All right, welcome everyone to a brand new episode of A Tribe Called. I am going to apologize ahead of time. I don't have a lot of voice, but we keep it moving around
Yes.
here. So, this sinus infection is not going to stop this broadcast. I am your host, Sharita Niles, also known as the Business Challenge Assassin. But for the sake of this show, I am your business best friend. And what is my job? My job is to introduce you to extraordinary individuals doing exceptional things in the community, for people. And if you don't know my definition of community, community is your people. Like the Verizon Wireless guy that used to walk around with a crowd of people, it's your people. That's your community. So I am helping you add new people to your community. And today I have a awesome guest. Miss Lisa Nolan, also known as LeLe. She is CEO and founder of Healing She Got Faith. Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank
You
you.
are so welcome. So give us a little background. Tell us about Healing She Got Faith. And you have another business and you got some other little things going on. Give us like
Yes.
the quick story.
Yes. So I am LeLe. She Got Faith. I am the founder of Healing She Got Faith, which I'm also your favorite community social worker and your self-love advocate,
Yeah.
okay? And yes, I am the founder of Healing She Got Faith, which was honestly started as a blog for adults who were dealing with grief. It did blossom into an organization and now a community center, a radio talk show. We have a published book bundle under us, and we do community programming. My sole purpose for Healing She Got Faith was to provide a safe space for adults who are dealing with grief and on their self-love journey, because society has constantly told adults we don't need resources. We only got 3 days to grieve and then you got to go back to work. But I'm here to break all that and fight these policies, because there's so many adults who are still that little child who just miss mommy and daddy, or if you lost your child, or if you lost your home, or whatever you've lost. So I define grief as anything that you have lost that affects your life. So
Oof.
that could be anything. So I also have a segment on my show called Grief Beyond Death, and I bring people on like a show like this where we bring people from the community and they talk about their grief experience, whatever it may be. So yes, I am also the author of Everyone Has a Story, which is a book bundle. It's a novel, a guided journal, and a planner, and I'm super proud of that. We're also on Kindle, so there's an ebook out, and then the audiobook will be out soon. And then I'm so excited because I have the community office, which we will be calling the Healing She Got Faith Lounge, where that will
Ooh.
be another place for people to just kind of come. We'll have resources and things of that nature. So my hands are in a lot of different things, but Healing She Got Faith is my baby.
She is doing it all. And because this show is about creativity, community, and connections, which she is the highlight of all three. She is creating spaces, which of course I love. She is also a connection. We met,
Yeah,
man, has it been a year? It's been over a year.
yeah,
Wow.
2020.
It was 2020.
Mhm.
Oh man, see, you be connected to people you don't even know how long you are. We met in a book mentoring group.
Mhm.
We both were working on writing a book. She was way further than I was, but I'm so proud of her. Like when I saw her book was being released, I was cheering and excited because that's what you're supposed to do. When you are connected to people, you should be cheering what they do. But the fact that it's come full circle and we're doing some similar things, and
Yes.
we've connected in other spaces and other realms, it's amazing to me. And this is what real authentic connections are about, that it doesn't matter like how you meet people and how you connect to them. It's how you continue after that. How do you cultivate that? How does it become something more? And trust me, y'all keep your eyes open, it's gonna be something more. Y'all gonna see these two
Hey.
ladies together again.
Okay, say that because you are and is.
Yes, yes. We about to do some things. Also, we are from the same home city, which is St. Louis, Missouri. She
Hey.
recently moved back. I am residing in Indianapolis, but I still go there. You know, it's where my roots are. You can't ever give up your roots. It's like a tree. You know,
Yes.
they
Okay.
stay. You got to
Stay
dig
there.
through the roots.
They are there. We are here. We are one.
So, in a tribe called fashion, I like to highlight the people behind the greatness. And I believe that Healing She Got Faith is doing some awesome, amazing things. She is finding ways to bring healing to people in ways that a lot of times people just look past. They are not, they're thinking of healing in a corporate setting where you have to go to a therapist and you have to
Mhm.
be in group sessions, but she is finding ways that are simple and actionable for regular people to take
Yeah.
part in not just healing, but in your own healing. So I absolutely love that. I think healing is anything that you can do to get yourself back to a place of joy.
Absolutely.
And I think that is exactly what you're doing. And what I love is that she is doing it while doing it. So tell us a little
Yes.
bit about how you got into Healing She Got Faith.
Yes. So let's start from like the ground keeping because a lot of people are like, how did you come up with that name? So
Yes.
back in the day, when I say back in the day, when I was in college, I was in my early 20s. I was real into like my relationship with Jesus. Like I was one of those annoying Jesus freaks, okay? Like annoying, like you be like, how you Jesus is life. Like that's who I was, okay? So when I was in that phase, all my social medias was She Got Faith, She Got Faith. And part of that was because when people would talk to me, like they would just say, you talk with so much faith. Like you don't even know. And I like in college, I was homeless, I was poor, my mom was homeless, my brother was homeless. Like we was literally just out here just surviving and like we was just out there and like when people would speak to me they was like you just speak with so much faith like you have every reason in the world to like not believe that good things are happening but here you are you like encouraging other people you laughing like people like you hella funny I'm like and I appreciate that like so She Got Faith was my name. When I moved to New York, which was in 2019, it was after my mom had died. And I was like, I want to start this blog. I've been like, it's been really on my heart. So at first I was going to start the Healing Social Worker, but it's so creative, right? So that name was already taken. So like, I just sat with it for a lot. And I was like, what about Healing She Got Faith? Because I'm healing. I am She Got Faith. And so my intention was to invite my listeners, my followers to come on this healing journey with me. Even if you're not ready for it, you can watch me go through it because I'm going to give you the raw. I'm gonna give you because I
Yes.
wanted to do the authentic self healing. I didn't want to do the Instagram or the Facebook. I wanted to be like, nah, I want you to see the days that we're crying. I want you to see the days where we don't get up. I want you to see the days where I can't look myself in the mirror. Like I want to give you the rawness of what healing actually means because it's not always cute and it
Yes.
can be very lonely. And so that's how Healing She Got Faith, the name came about. I love to write. I am not the best writer as far as like grammar and punctuation. I am the person I would just write, okay?
Yes.
I I write how I talk too. So if you don't speak St. Louis, you probably not gonna understand my reading. I mean my writing. So I am that person, but I've always wanted to be a blogger. Like
Mhm.
I love the concept of blogging. So I started it and I was like, I meet a lot of adults who just need a release. And so like how cool would it be if you just on your phone just like, oh, I went through this, or oh, like somebody else is going through this, or oh wow, like I didn't even realize I was grieving, or I didn't even realize I wasn't authentically healing. So I honestly just started writing. I really didn't do it for anybody else. It was just healing for me. So I started that. But meanwhile, I have a whole master's of social work, right? So my sister, who's a very entrepreneur spirit, was like, Lisa, don't you want to use your degree? Don't you
Because
want
you
to use this
paid for it.
degree
Because
that
you
you
paid
paid,
for
that I paid out of pocket for? Don't you want to use that? And I'm like, yeah. And so she was like, you have a lot of like resources that you could provide to the community. And ultimately, like, this could be your career. This could be what you know, like, you getting tired of working for all these nonprofits. You getting tired of having these dead end jobs at White Castle, Old Navy. Like, you know, you have the power to create it. Because I'm gonna be completely honest. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was like, I'm gonna work my 9 to 5, be done. Okay, I don't need to work on nobody dream. Listen, 9 to 5, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's not what life had planned for me. Okay,
it. Right.
so when she said that, I was like, oh, I could. And so this was around the time where like being a coach was being real popular, and so
Mhm.
I honestly was downplaying my master's. I was like, I'm gonna go get a life coach certification. And one of my social worker colleagues, bless her heart, she was like, ma'am, you got a master's.
You already got one.
You don't need that. Just do what you do. Like, you know,
Mhm.
just like, you know, she was like, I don't know if it's fear. I don't know like what you're fighting, but just do what you do because it's what you love. And
Right.
everybody in the social work industry that I was really close with was like, yeah, Lisa, like literally. And so then I try to downplay myself because I don't have like the basic license or the clinician license of social work. In the state of Missouri, you don't have to have that
Mhm.
to do work. The only time you have to have that is if you're doing like therapy or clinician work. But if you're not
Right.
doing that, like I do community, I don't have to do that. So that was actually a blessing to be in Missouri to be able to have that opportunity. So when my colleagues, and these were like clinicians, social workers too, they're like, Lisa, no, you're doing it because best believe we're coming to work with you, even though we got it, like we about to tag team this. So that started the healing she got faith. So I started doing groups. I started doing the grief groups. I started doing like self-love groups. I had this group called Praise and Prayer that went on for years, and it was literally a support group, and people just came. We talked about our day. I would do like little activities with them, but it was a place for people just to come and release. It was 1 hour a week, so it wasn't a big commitment. And when I say like to this day people talk about that group, it was the one time that people got the opportunity to just be who they are, and that was my whole goal. Like, I just wanted to create that space. So back to when I went to New York, I was trying to figure out like what exactly I want to do. That's when I met you. And I finally picked my pen back up because I had started writing my book in 2017. In 2018 my mom died, so when she died I stopped writing. So in 2019 I picked up my pen again, picked up my book. We joined the program in 2020. It was a 6-month program. I finished the book in 2 months. I was just
You
on a
did it.
roll.
She did it.
I finished the
Man.
book in 2 months,
I was a
and
little bit envious, but then not. I was like, wait, further than I. She already started writing this. I'm just getting into
right.
this.
And for me, I just felt like, Lisa, you started this in 2017. Because I remember I was in grad school, I was working full time, I was at community college, and I would just write at work. So I already had pages and pages of this book, and it was
Right.
like, you just need to do it. Like, you just need to get it done. My entrepreneur life has been that. You just need to
Yeah.
do it.
You
You
just
keep
need to.
telling yourself that you don't. Like,
If we could get that message out, like I want to put that on a t-shirt. I've been saying I'm gonna get t-shirts
yes,
done, but it's like, listen, Nike had the plan, and it's not just for athletes; it's for everybody.
you
Just
got to do it.
do it, because
Yes,
the only way that you can know if it's wrong or if it works is
yes,
to do it. Like I
exactly.
tell other entrepreneurs all the time, they have all these great ideas, and it's going to be like this, and I'm like, okay, well, have you done it yet? Well, no, because I have to wait for this, and it's like, stop, just do it, just go
Just
do
do
it,
it.
because you might change that whole thing
Yeah.
by the time you do it. Like once you do it, that's going to tell you, yes, I'm on the right path. No, let's rethink some things. If
No,
you don't
seriously.
try it, like you have to do it. You have to.
You have to do it. So like an example I can give y'all is, you couldn't tell me that I wouldn't be working in middle school and high schools a couple years ago. Like with Healing She Got Faith, that was our niche. That's what we was gonna be. I worked in one middle school and I said, yep, going to the adults.
Correct.
Like, and part of that was because working in the schools is especially during COVID, was just harder. Like,
Yeah.
it's already harder to work in certain schools, and then you run into schools who want you but they can't pay you, and we in a pandemic, we need to get paid. But also too, when my mom died, so she actually died in Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and just the situation with how she died, Crime Stoppers were involved, and so it was her and
Oh
my
yeah.
brother. My brother survived, but Crime Stoppers was involved. So me and my sister actually ended up bringing my brother back to St. Louis. And the Crime Stoppers out here was like, I mean, we could pick up your case, but like, we don't serve it. Like, pretty much, there's no place in Missouri that will offer you all services.
Wow.
Okay,
Was
so
that because it happened in Pennsylvania?
it was because we were over the age of 18.
Ooh.
So when they said that, so there were three like trauma informed places in St. Louis. All of them had 3 to 6 month waiting lists.
Mm.
And because of my connection with social workers in the city, I already knew, because they were like, social workers were telling me like they had clients with like suicide ideation and they were still on the holding. And if you know anything about policy, if it's suicide ideation, you cannot hold them. So when they
Yeah.
were telling me they were on holding, I was like, ain't no way we gonna get seen.
Right.
So we reached out to one organization out here, Annie's Hope, which Annie's Hope is a grieving organization for kids. So they don't offer services for adults, but they do have like a library and just other things that adults can use. So that
Yes.
kind of helped me out a little bit. But I was just like, this is not right. And so I would talk to other social workers and they would be like, no, there are resources. You just don't see them. And I'm like, I think that's cute to say. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's, but also too, when it comes to grief, most of the grieving is through religious organizations. But what
Yeah.
about those people who can't do religious? Or what about those people who have walked away? Or what about those people who are confused? Why don't we have a place for people who it doesn't matter, but it's a safe space?
Yeah.
So I went back to my blog on Wix.com. It was like, we about to make this. We are
Yeah.
about to make this. And so I worked with my brother and sister. They are my business partners. They are my foundation. They are everything to me. Um, we have held each other down for years, even
I
before both
love
our
it.
parents had passed away. Because we, like, both of our parents are gone. So we have each other. But they helped me buy my building. They helped me set it up. They were with me when I was in court trying to get the building open. Like, they held me down. They've really been my backbone in it. And they've helped me promote. They've sent me clients and things of that nature. But they really believe in the vision, and they see, like, I've always been community. That's why I went community social work route.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been resource based. Like, we need resources. That's how we heal. That's
Yeah.
how we understand there's a lot of things that we are not taught in this society. And here come me. I always tell people, I'm the Jesus that was flipping tables. Okay, y'all like the cute Jesus. Okay, I'm the Jesus that's yelling at folks and flipping tables. I've been flipping
Yes.
tables since 1991. Okay.
I'm not the cute one on the picture.
I'm not the cute one. I will never be the cute Jesus. Okay, I am not nice.
No, I absolutely love the story. First of all, I love that your brother and sister are with you through this whole process. Even though you guys had tragedy, like, you turned tragedy into triumph, which is,
Yeah.
we hear people talk about that and make it sound all cute, but like, seriously, y'all are doing it. And if you follow her, if you see her social media pages and you listen to her on her show, because she has her own radio show as well, you will hear her talk about her family, and she highlights them. And like, I thought it was so, as much as I was questioning, like, why would she go back to St. Louis? Like, I understand why you went back to St. Louis, because
Yeah.
you needed to get back to the people that you knew were your absolute support system. So I
Yeah.
think that's awesome. And the dogs, and y'all such a cute, like, family. Like, I
Thank
always be like,
you.
oh, they so cute.
Thank
I love they
you.
dogs. Like, I love my
Oh, thank you so much.
But
Yeah.
being a person that I don't have any blood sisters, like, I, from my mother, I only had a brother. So I understand the tragedy of loss, because my brother was murdered in 2011 in St. Louis.
Yes.
So I also understand about services not being available because I was an adult. But he had a son, and I also have a son who were impacted greatly by his loss. And the only way that we really got help is because I had a child. So we were able, I'm familiar with Annie's Hope because my son got some books, he got some supplies from them. They came to the school, and then there was another organization, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was a grief organization that was within the school.
Oh yeah.
They actually led us to some therapy services for him. And I learned later that it was family therapy because I was like, okay, I just want to drop him off at the library. He meet with therapists because, I got to keep life moving. So I'm like, I'm good. But really, I was not good. I knew I wasn't good, but I didn't know where to go and get help. And the lady just sat me down and said, I'm not talking to him another day until I get to talk to you.
Oh, man.
And just to find out that she was like, this is family therapy.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to participate, then we can't help him because we can't help him if we can't help you. But I tell you, that was the best blessing of my life.
Yes.
Like, it really helped me it sorted out stuff even beyond, losing my brother. That was a big tragedy, but beyond that, it opened so many doors. It showed me so many things about me that I was like, oh, okay, we got to do something different. Like, this is. And that that therapist helped me to make the decision to move to Indianapolis. Like, I was like, I've been wanting to move. And she was like, so what's keeping you here?
Just do it.
And I was just like, well.
Just do it.
And you laid out a plan. Like, really, I laid out the plan. I came to her like, well, I got this whole plan. And she was like, so why are we not doing this? Like, why are you not doing this? And I was like, I don't know. I have to stay because. And she was like, nope, you got your own family. You need to do what's great for them. And the greatest blessing of my life. So anybody that is listening, watching, that does not believe that therapy can help your life, let me tell you, here's two people to tell you.
Okay, because let me tell you,
also give you therapy.
Listen, because let me tell you right now, I do therapy 2 to 3 times a week through BetterHelp. If you don't have insurance, which I'll be honest, having insurance and being an entrepreneur is very hard.
Yes,
so if you don't have insurance, BetterHelp is a very good way to get affordable, great therapy. They will work with you. A lot of times too, y'all. So if anybody's listening, if you get any followers, contact me because a lot of times I have 1 month free coupons for BetterHelp.
Yes.
So I don't have them all the time, but sometimes I do have them. So I can always I always try to give those away because I
tell them how to follow you so they can get in on those coupons.
Yes. So on Instagram, I have my business page, which is Healing She Got Faith. So you can, and I check that every day. Message me, comment. So definitely Healing She Got Faith. It's all one word, nothing else. I'm on Facebook, Healing She Got Faith. I'm also on YouTube. YouTube is actually Heal She Got Faith. They wouldn't let me put the healing, but YouTube is Heal She Got Faith. I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is Lisa Inez Nolan. But you should be able to type in Healing She Got Faith and I'll pop up. What else? If y'all want to check out my show, which you definitely should, I'm on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's literally called the Healing She Got Faith Radio Talk Show. So everything is Healing She Got Faith. My email is info@healingsheGotFaith.com. And then my website is healingsheGotFaith.org. So
she made it easy. Everything is the same. She made it. If you can remember Healing She Got Faith, that's how you're going to get in touch with her.
I'm telling you.
Send her a message. Be like, about that coupon. Listen, don't sit on your grief and your pain, your lonely, whatever it is. Sometimes just having somebody else to talk to is all you need. Therapy, I know, especially being in the Black community, therapy is not looked at as something that we need. But as a Black person, it's something that we need. We have just living is trauma for us sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So listen, people, if you are not taking part in it, even if you think you don't need it, look into it. You might just find that there's something in there for you. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. And then let me just say this about therapy, because I think a lot of people just expect to go into therapy and meet their person. Therapy is just like dating. So you might have to date around to a therapist just to see. And I know that becomes taxing, but let me tell you, it's well worth the wait. Like the therapist I have now, I've probably been through 5 other therapists, and I know that sounds like a lot,
Wow.
but the therapist I have now, she has, when I say help me, and I do see her 2 to 3 times a week. That's how good she is. I've never seen a therapist that many times. But let me tell you what my confirmation was. I have one of my really good friends, and she was like, Lisa, you have not complained about this therapist at all, and I've been with you through all your other therapists, and you have found something wrong with every single one of them. You have not said nothing negative about this one. And I was like, that's because she my person. Like, like when you date and you be like, that's because they my person. I'm like, they
Yes.
my therapist. That's why she my therapist.
Yes.
And she has done tremendous work. We have tapped into that inner child. We have tapped into grief that I never even realized, because my father passed when I was 15. So tapping into that Lisa of like, that Lisa never grieved. So
Mhm.
now that it's 15 years later, your two Lisas, they fighting each other. So we gotta fix that. You if you gonna teach people about grief, you gotta work through it. So that's one of my like authentic self-healing type things. You have to be
Yes.
completely honest. You have to make that little person in you feel like, hey, we're safe now. We like,
Yeah.
we're okay. It's a like, we're healing. So just keep that in mind when you're in therapy. And let me say this, and then we can get off the therapy talk. Therapy is not just talking. Okay. A lot of times we go
Word.
to listen. A lot of times we go to therapy and we like, oh, I could just talk to my friend. Your friend is not a professional. And
Right.
two, therapy is a technique. It is a strategy. And that's why it's imperative that you shop around, because you want to find a therapist that will actually work with you and will actually do
Wow.
stuff, because it's more than talking.
That is a very good point. I've never heard anybody um say it like that. It actually is a strategy,
Mm-hmm.
because every therapy session that I've been in, it starts off with, what is it that you want to accomplish?
Yep.
So you're really setting goals, and then it's a strategy to get to your goals. That makes so much sense. And
Yes.
to me, that changes the dynamic. As an analytical person, as a problem solver, it's like,
Yes.
okay, this goes from, therapy doesn't mean that you're helpless. And I think a lot of people view it that way, like, oh, there's something wrong with me. I'm crazy. Well, some of us, I mean, hey, everybody got a little crazy in them anyway. And knowing is half the battle. So,
If you accept it, you're halfway there.
right. It's really not about being crazy. It's not about being, helpless. It's about, hey, I am looking to solve a problem in my own life.
That part.
Here's a strategy. So I love that. I love the way, I hope that people are listening and paying attention, and they are connecting with you. But let's switch gears and let's talk
Yeah.
about Lisa, LeLe, as she likes to be called. Tell us. Okay, so I like to do these 5 questions that are just like off the wall. So tell us what your guilty pleasure is.
Ooh, okay. My guilty pleasure is I like to dance in my booty shorts in my building.
Okay.
I like to I like to turn the music up real loud and
Okay.
let my body hang, and I like to,
Give it everything you got.
yes,
That is
yes.
hilarious, but I understand.
I be
Sometimes
in
you
my
gotta
booty
break
shorts,
free.
my crop top, and I be hitting it.
She said, I got to break free. Like,
Yes, I'm releasing it. And
social
then
work that off.
professional
What you
like
say?
nothing. I'm
Oh,
here. I am
that's
here.
so funny. I would not have expected that. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That
All
is something when people be like, "You really be dancing?" I be like, "No rhythm, but I be in it.
right.
I be in it."
That's so funny. Okay, so since we're talking about music and dancing, what type of music do you like to dance to? What's your go-to music when you're in a happy mood or you're not feeling like, what's your music?
Yes, so I have a couple different genres. So I'm an old soul, right? So 90s R&B will always be
Mm,
my
come
go-to.
on with it. Yes.
Always be my go-to. I have a playlist that is probably like 12 years old, and it is all the hits from like the 90s to the early 2000s, okay?
Yes.
So that's like my go-to, but like I love ratchet twerk music. Like I love it. City Girls, Meg, Cardi. Like Cardi is my BFF. Like I don't care what nobody say. Okay, I don't care what nobody say. If I'm like in a healing mood, Kevin Gates is one of my favorite artists. And it depends, like, cause old Kevin, he was ratchet. Newer
Yes, yes, he
Kevin
was. New
is
Kevin,
chilled.
he an intellectual. Come
I
on.
know. I have VIP tickets to go meet him in September. I
I
am so
see.
excited.
You was talking about him. I was like, ooh.
Listen, that is one man, and even his wife. I will be their third. I don't care. Like, listen, I want both of y'all. Like,
Oh,
listen.
he out here teaching some men about some stuff. Listen, I didn't
So
see some of
because
his
I done got in, like, little Lisa got in trouble for listening to Kevin Gates back then. I was like, listen, this is
Mm.
what Kevin is saying to do. So this is what we need to do, okay? And then I like to tap into my Puerto Rican side. So like reggaeton and
Ooh.
listening to that type of music really helps me. It just the beat and it really moves with the body and soothes the
Okay.
soul.
Yeah.
So I always say R&B, ratchet rap, and reggaeton. Like just put it together.
Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny. But I'm with you. I could probably get with. I'm not really a ratchet rap, but every once in a while, me and Cardi, we could rock. Sometimes she says so. I'll be like, you know what? I'm feeling you on that one. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that. Okay.
She's actually one of her, like, on her first mixtape. If you listen to my show on the radio platform,
Hmm.
her song comes on after I end.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. You
Yes.
know what? I think I have heard that, and I
Mhm.
actually thought it was just the song that they was playing.
Nope, that's me.
Oh, she put that on there. Okay.
That's
Oh,
me.
all
That's me.
right.
So yeah.
So when you are not in your healing space and you're not working all of your entrepreneur things, what can people find you doing?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I am the auntie with a cocktail. So you can probably find me at a low key lounge or bar,
Okay.
drinking a very fruity, girly drink. Okay.
Okay.
But I do like to read, so a lot of times I am reading. Uh, I read so much, y'all. Like
Mhm.
I genuinely just read so much. So reading, walking. I if it's in the budget, I'm going to an island and I'm gonna be in the beach.
Come
Okay.
on with it. Come on
Okay.
with
So
it.
I do
Reading
travel.
on the beach is exceptional.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm definitely a traveler. So I catch flights. I am one of those people that if I want to go somewhere, I'm gonna go ahead and go,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to enjoy myself too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We have that in common. Listen, I'm gonna go and worry about what it costs later. So let's just I love to be. I can't tell you that I've read on the beach in a long time. I just like to be there. Just
Okay.
on it. Actually, it doesn't even have to be a beach for me. I am absolutely in love with travel. It don't have to be a beach. I just want to be somewhere else.
Right.
Give
Right.
me a waterfall. I do love water because
Me
water
too.
recharges me. So I love to be near the water. I love to learn about cultures. I love to, learn about other, and I love to eat. So hey,
That
that's
part, listen, that part, I'm the same way. Like I love the sound of water. I love the sun.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I think like just recently I've tapped into my Caribbean culture. So
Okay.
like being on islands and being around the Caribbean culture really just fulfills my soul.
Gotcha.
If I'm in St. Louis, obviously we don't have that type of culture, but I don't mind going to the riverfront, like listening to the water or sitting in front
Mm-hmm.
of it. It's not as pretty, but
Right.
it's water nevertheless, so it gives me
Right.
that nature feel, which I'm okay with that.
Yes. So tell us about I saw something recently on one of your posts about this interesting pillow that you got as a gift.
Ah, yes. Okay. So we was actually in front of the Mississippi River too. Okay. So a couple weekends ago, my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, let's take a family trip to Memphis." We like, cool. He planned everything. Like he just told us where to be, when to show up, whatever.
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, cool. Yeah, he planned everything. So we go out there. We had certain plans. Of course, it didn't work out. So we was like, we just gonna make it work. So this is the last day before we hit the road back to St. Louis. We in Memphis, and Memphis has the biggest Bass Pro Shop, right? So if
Yes.
you've ever been there, it looks like a pyramid. It's super
Yes.
big. It's got hotels. It got a rooftop. It got a bowling alley. It's a shopping center. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not even an outdoors person, but I was
Right.
kicking it up in there. So my brother was like, "Hey, let's go to the rooftop." So of course, the rooftop, the line was wrapped around in the store, but we was like, we here, we just gonna do it. And it didn't cost a lot to go up there. So we standing there, and my sister like, and so it's a thing of pillows right there, and they shaped like animals. And so my sister like, ooh, a turtle. So she loves turtles. So of course she went and found the turtle all the way at the bottom. So I'm like, well, you probably gotta buy it before we go up there because they probably not gonna let you take merchandise. She like, you right, you right. So I ain't thinking nothing of it. She took a while. She come back and she goes, here, I found this for you. And I was like, what you done found for me? And it was an alligator pillow. Because fun fact about me, I love dinosaurs. So with that being said, I love crocodiles, I love alligators, and I love sharks. They all represent like
Wow.
dinosaurs. So I
Yes.
am a dinosaur fanatic. So when I saw this pillow, I took it. I was chomping at the kid. I was like, rah, 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 rah. And then we went to the rooftop and I was dancing with my alligator. So
Yes,
I
you
loved it.
were. And
I
listen,
loved
for
it.
everybody that hasn't seen the post, I saw her with this alligator pillow without reading the caption. It looked so real. It looked like she had an alligator wrapped up in a blanket and she was kissing it. And I was like, what is LeLe doing? Like she is out here living. I was so, it took me a while. And I'm just like going through the pictures. I still haven't read the caption. Then I finally go back. I read the caption. I'm like, oh, it's a pillow. Okay. And then I come to the picture where you like holding it by the hands and dancing. I'm like, okay. I was like, LeLe is out here
Listen,
living like the wild animal kingdom. Listen, alligators on the
yes,
list. Wait a minute. But that was the pillow is realistic. Like
yes.
the scaling, the colors, and from a photo, if you don't read the caption, it looks like when you have it wrapped up, it looks like a real
A
alligator.
real, you're not the first person to say that. Like a lot of people was like, I thought you was over there kissing a real alligator. I was like, first of all, I know that I look, but I ain't that.
Right? It's like,
Listen,
I ain't crazy.
listen. I got my limits now. But yeah,
Yes, that's
that
so cool.
that was such a moment because I'm not a type of person that like people just see stuff and it's like, oh, I thought about you. Like here,
Yeah.
I'm usually the poorest. So like when she did that, it was out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. And we didn't even know they were alligator pillows. Like later on, I saw in the store like they're way on the other side, away from the pillows. Like so, for her to come across that and be like, oh, Lisa would love this. It just really meant something
Aww.
to me. So like naturally, I became that little kid, that inner child. Like, oh my gosh, I got a stuffed animal. Like,
But
wow, I'm just
how
so
often do
happy.
we get to be that way? Like once we get to be adults, it's like so frowned upon, and it shouldn't be. You should be able to be yourself authentically,
Exactly.
no matter what. Now, I'm not saying be dancing with pillows everywhere you go because people might look at your little cross,
Right.
especially in the business world. But just you showing those moments to me said she's human,
Yeah.
and that gives people something to connect with. And then reading your caption, I could totally relate to that. I'm not a person that people think about all the time either. Like I'm always pouring into other people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying no one thinks about me, but I am that type of person. Like if you buy me something that is number one practical, but number two, it has meaning to me.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
otherwise, if it's just a keepsake, it's just gonna go on the shelf. Like I'm
Yep.
not gonna. But if it's something like I am a lover of ladybugs, so you buy me something
Ooh.
with a ladybug, especially if it is like not just a ladybug stuffed animal, which I love those too. Those are great. But something that has meaning, that has ladybug, like I am overjoyed. Like I'm like you was with the pillow. I be
Yes.
dancing around. I be wearing it with everything. I
Okay.
be like, you got them ladybug earrings on again? Yes,
And I
I
do.
do.
And I do.
And I got a bracelet to match. So
Okay. Listen.
I get that, and I think we have to get comfortable with being who we are, even in those moments. Like, it's okay. Who we putting on for? I am nobody's celebrity. And if I do become a celebrity, guess what? I'm still gonna get excited over ladybugs.
I'm still gonna be excited over my dinosaurs, okay?
Yes,
Look,
as you should. I love alligators and crocodiles too. I do.
hey,
In real life, like I love the real ones. Like
yeah,
going to zoos, that's something that I always go to see because they are like very close to dinosaurs. Like it's just
yes.
like wow, they're amazing and they have so much power.
They have so much power, and like when you truly like see, like just see them in their like natural habitat, they are so beautiful.
Yes.
Like I know society has taught us that they eat us, but like
Hmm.
they are so beautiful, and they're beautiful creatures. They're very
They are.
silent, but they're lethal. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, they're so beautiful.
And they just want to mind their business. I mean, yes, they want to eat. I feel like they kind of like me. Like I want to eat, but just leave me alone.
You know what? I was just gonna say that. I was like, and they just be in the sun taking sun baths, like I
Yes.
do. You know, like
Yeah. It's like when that person call you just ate lunch and they be like, I was thinking of going such and such. You be like, I can eat. That's alligators. They like, I can still eat. Now don't get it
oh,
twisted. I can
I
still eat.
always got the stomach ready.
Yes, yes. My best experience with an alligator was I went to Florida. We went on a trip to Florida and we went to Gatorland.
Oh, I love
And
that
that
place.
was amazing.
Amazing. I
Like I
love
would
that.
go back. I think they changed the name of it.
Did they?
I don't know. It used to be a show called the Gator Boys, and I would
Yes.
watch them. And then we went to Florida, and somebody said, "Did you guys go to Gatorland?" I was like, "What's that?" Got there, and it was the Gator Boys. I flipped out.
They
Like,
was there.
yeah,
Oh man, I've been there a couple times, but I've never seen the Gator Boys there. But
yes,
I've been there. That's probably my favorite park in
they
Florida.
were there doing tricks, and I listen. My kids had walked off to go see something else. I was still right there at the little rail watching them. They was
I
throwing
love it.
chickens in the water, and I was excited. But yes, I get it. I get the. So what was my last question? My last question was, well, you kind of answered it because I was going to ask you a question about travel.
Oh.
But tell me a place that is on your bucket list that you haven't made it to yet.
Ooh. So I don't know if I'll ever make it here, but Cuba is a place I want to
No, no,
go.
we're not gonna say that. We're gonna say when you get there.
When I get there, yes. Cuba is a place that I just find so amusing. When you
Really?
research there, they don't have nothing that's Americanized. Like they don't even have like a currency exchange for us. Like they don't even have that. So when you get there, you just gotta kind of hope as an American, you just gotta kind of hope and pray it works out for you. Um, but their culture and just a lot of the like monumental things that are there and just the beauty. I've just always have read about Cuba and I'm
Mhm.
like I just have to get there. I just have to know like what like it's just so mysterious to me and I'm like I
Yeah.
just got to get there. I got what's the mystery? Like let me figure it out. So back in I want to say like 2014, I met a pastor and his wife. They were from Cuba. They traveled back and forth from Cuba to Florida. And they were doing like ministry work with the baseball team out there. And out there, like they're kind of real strict on ministry, especially when it comes to Christians and
Mhm.
the whole evangelism thing. Like the Cubans can be very strict on that. But this pastor who I ain't gonna lie, y'all. He was the homie. Like he was a pastor, but he was a OG, and he was actually like mentoring the guys on the baseball team, and I was so fascinated by that because in Cuba, which most Latino countries like baseball is the money maker.
Yeah.
So when he was working with them, he was like, yeah, like these are men that just probably never had a father, probably never really had a family origin, and like we just go in there, we just love them and we just work, we work with them. And then like he was telling me he met the leader of Cuba and
Mhm.
nobody has ever met the leader of Cuba. Like if you're not in it, and he like this OG pastor was like he was like, oh yeah, like he'll text me every now and then. I'm like, what? How you reach a soul like that? Like, and
Right.
that's I like to think of people like those unreachable people because they're so powerful or they're so shut off. Like I'm that type of person. I'm like, hey man, how can I like give you a hug? How can I see
Yeah.
that like, You know, I'm not one. I'm not trying to be no pastor. I'm not trying to do no evangelism. Like, I'm probably like the worst Christian ever. I'm like, man, bump all that. Uh, I ain't trying to do none of that. But like, to like just reach people, you know, you reaching these souls that just need to know that, like, hey man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
even care what you got going on. Like, I love you, and I love you for who you are. Like, that's the type of person that I be like, man, and that's why I just love the mystery. Like, let me figure it out. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
That's so interesting. So why do you think that you won't ever get there?
well, because the United States and Cuba, they got their little
Yeah.
issues going on.
Yeah.
So I know when Obama was president, we were allowed to start going over there, but
Mhm.
then when 45 got up in there, the
Yeah.
treaty.
Well, we were still able to go because I went while
Did
45
you?
was in office.
Yeah.
Now I will say this: there you are limited to where you can go as an
Yeah.
American. So we could go to Havana.
Yeah.
Um, we went on a cruise. A friend of mine, she flew there directly, and then I know somebody that recently went. So you
Gotcha.
can go. It is a very interesting place. I would have liked to see more, but I would say this is a trip where we threw the whole tourist thing out the window, which
Yes.
is how when me and my friends travel, that's what we do. We
Yeah.
like to do that, like kind of get on the ground with people there. But in this case, like we really, really did. We went on a cruise. We had a whole 24 hours in Cuba.
Wow.
Um, no, it wasn't 24. It was supposed to be, it ended up being like 17 because they only got one port. And we
Yes.
was on one boat and another boat was coming in the morning. So they was like, y'all gotta go. So
Y'all gotta come on.
but I will say this, we got to go to this lady's house who lived there. She worked for the cigar factory
Yes.
where she was selling cigars. But it is I mean, communism, we learn about it in school and
Mm-hmm.
what it means, but to be there and
See.
experience it and to
Yep.
hear the stories, things like you get 6 eggs for a family of four for a month.
Yep.
So they literally depend on the government to give them everything it is that they need. They can only make up to a certain amount of money.
Money. Yep.
And then
Yep.
after that, that money has to go to the government because the government's taking care of them.
Yep.
I could not. It made me grateful. Like I know we was dealing with 45, and we was in some times, but I was like, but still,
Yeah.
I can make
Yeah.
as much money that's possible to me. Like there were people that you could tell that they work for the government that were standing on the street and watching how much money the beggars were getting.
Oh yeah. I can. I can picture that.
It was really really interesting. I mean, it was beautiful, and we had somebody that took us to see like a lot of the monuments and things like that, and the water was beautiful. But just to see, and you're right, a lot of stuff that we have here because in Havana is the only place that they have made an exchange for money. They
Yep.
actually have a specific type of money that only American money can be switched for.
Yep. Yep.
And it's the same. It's dollar for dollar. It's
Yeah.
it's not
And
even
that
different.
and that's recent too. Like, that's in
Mhm.
the last, like that's something new that they did.
Yeah, I think that happened after the whole Obama situation
Yeah.
because they told us you got to switch your money as soon as you get off the boat inside the port because you will only find a couple places. There's a couple of banks that we could go into and switch money around, but most of the time if you don't have that, like they don't want the American money. I don't know if it's that they can't have it, but it is. But when I say the beauty there, and then the
Yes.
nightlife, we found a bar that was open 24 hours. Like that was the name of it, 24
Yep.
hour live music bar. Had the greatest time.
Yes.
I want to go back because being on a boat, you limited.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't eat any Cuban food. But that was because we was at the port, and also the port is where they dump their trash. So the smell, I couldn't. I was
I
like,
couldn't. Yeah.
I'm gonna eat on the boat. I'm gonna enjoy this, but I'm gonna eat back.
Right. Yes. I love
I
that.
couldn't get myself ready for it, but it was the buildings, the architecture, like
I
all of that
know.
stuff was so And there's so much history behind it. And then to see so many people that look like me, but you know, you
and
look like me. I know you
and
don't
that
do.
and that's part of the culture too, because a lot of times when you meet Cubans in the States,
Mhm.
they have a certain way of thinking. Be
Yes.
not be nice. They have a certain way of thinking, and so
Uh-huh.
I like going to places like that and learning the history, because you're
Yep.
not going to get it from them unless you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and that's the other thing too. Like you know, it's a lot of people you meet that they're actually, Cuban, and
Uh-huh.
so it's the, like I said, the mystery, and then that also goes into like policy and culture and just
Yep.
community development, because a lot of people don't realize that, but that was something that that the people of Cuba were taught time and time, just like as we see in our country today. Racism is still alive and well. We
It
see the
definitely.
segregation,
Yeah.
especially us being in St. Louis. The segregation is still alive and well in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I like going to places like that, because it might be uncomfortable, but I can do the research and I can do the um like the understanding of what's really happening. I'm bugging
The
up.
beauty of working at home, you got folks coming through the door, you got
Okay.
dogs.
Listen.
So we gonna take a little mute break.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh
All
no,
right,
you're
well,
fine.
the beauty of being an entrepreneur, working from
Okay.
your house, recording is sometimes you got barking dogs and folks trying to come in your house. So,
That
but
part.
yes, if you ever get the chance, you should definitely go.
Yes.
It is definitely a learning experience. I will say, take your own snacks. We could not find potato chips or soda in
Hey,
the land. They was like,
no,
go to
that's
the
her.
bodega. We went to the bodega. Nobody knew what we was talking about. They was trying to give us chicken rolls. I was like, no, I just want Lay's. Nope,
That's it. I
gotta get.
just want a potato chip. They like,
Yeah,
we don't
they
do
didn't
that.
know what that was at all. They had no idea. We went into the bodega. It was fresh fruit. It was meat hanging. There was no chips.
I'm
No,
so
we was
weak.
like Coca Cola. We found one Coca Cola, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted Sprite. So I was like, I'll just wait till I get back to the boat. Never
It's
mind. I just
okay. It's okay. No, and I'm glad that you said that, because I've actually only met one other person who has been to Cuba. So I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times I'm just reading like blogs and stuff with people who like have gone. So like the blogs that I've read is like you got to be like teaching, volunteering, or on a cruise ship to be able to go. So
yep.
and I know people, like I've heard of people who have just went over there, but like to actually like know somebody who went over there, because it's different when you read it and then when you know somebody who actually been over
Yes.
there. So I
Yes.
appreciate us having this conversation, because now when we get off the air, I know I can ask you some questions.
Yes. It's all about the visa.
Yeah.
Because that's the only place I've traveled out the country where they are specific about what you put on your visa for your
Yeah.
purpose. But that has a lot to do with our countries and how they,
Mhm.
everywhere else I've been, it's been free international travel. But
Yeah.
they are, and they gonna ask you, you're gonna fill out the visa and you're gonna get there and they're gonna say, what's your purpose?
Yep.
And you better say the right thing. Or else they be
Yeah.
like,
You have to turn
step
back
over
around.
there.
Right.
Step
Right.
over there.
You know what? I don't like your answer today.
But it was, even in that, like people just doing their job. But I solely enjoyed it, and I can't wait to have a chance to go back. So maybe we just need to travel together.
I mean, we
We
might
need
as
to just
well.
win an opportunity to go back to Cuba.
We might as well. We
Why
do
not?
the same stuff.
Why not? We can go over there. We can heal some people, teach them about making
Hey,
connections. Listen,
I love it. I love it. I might come back with a man. Who knows?
hey, two of us. Because I ain't gonna let you win that. I don't win. What?
I'm
All right.
weak.
Well, this has been so Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
taking the time
you.
to join us on a tribe call. If I didn't say, she already part of the tribe, y'all, because if you don't know, I have a Facebook group called a tribe called. Go to Facebook and just search a tribe
Tribe
called.
called.
If you would like to join, you might be the next person featured on the show. But I
Yes.
appreciate you taking the time to first listen to this froggy voice that I got today, but to join us on the show to grace us with your beauty and your intelligence and your
Thank
healing.
you.
You really brought some gems. I hope that people are encouraged by it. If you are not following me, you can follow me on Facebook at in.connectionstrategies. Same on Instagram, in.connectionstrategies. And I am SC Niles at In Connection Strategies on LinkedIn. On YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, we are A Tribe Called. And we are also on Audacity and Red Circle. And we gonna have some more stuff coming up. Just look for the links under the YouTube channel. Tell them again how to find you, Lisa.
Yes. So I'll tell y'all right now, I actually do have a very easy link y'all can follow, and it's healingshegotfaith.org/links. Make sure everything is lowercase, and it has all my connections: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, the podcast, the radio station, everything. So
Everything.
that's probably be your easiest bet. You can literally
That
click on
makes
everything
sense.
and hit follow on everything. So healingshegotfaith.org/links, all lowercase.
Okay, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Everything's on my website too. www.in-connection-strategies.com. That's the easiest place you can get everything there.
Thing, you know? You
Everything
know?
except my voice back, but it's okay. It'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yes. And I do thank you for bringing me onto your platform. So I'm so happy
Yes.
we connected back in 2020, and I'm proud of you, and I love this platform, and I
Thank
love the group. So I
you.
appreciate it.
Oh, thank you
I look
so much.
forward to more work with each other.
Yes, that's happening. And no question. That is happening. All
Yes.
right. Well, until next time, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of A Tribe Called. Be great.
Bye, guys.